Hello. Yo, going up and down these loft stairs, it gets tiring. So today, yes, I'm literally recording with 3 Apple devices right now. I have my phone, my old iPhone, and I'm recording on my iPad. This is a lot to handle right now. But today I'm doing a Q&A, which I didn't actually think that I would do. I kind of didn't like the idea of Q&As because it feels like a filler episode. But you guys have a lot of questions for me that I just never really talk about. I'm gonna put them all in one fucking place. So you can stop asking me them. But no, there's actually a lot of things that I want to share and talk about and tell you guys that I feel like you guys don't know about me. I feel like I do share a good fucking portion of myself online and put a lot of my shit online, but there's still a good chunk of things that I've just never found the time to talk about. So here we go. Also, I was gonna film this outside until I realized that it's 95 degrees outside today. So I'm not fucking doing that. I want to sit in my air conditioned home. Also, I found out this spot on my loft is perfect to film because there's a window in my loft right in front of me. I'm not gonna show you because I don't feel like doing that right now. And I set up my iPad on a laundry detergent bottle and it's barely balancing. So anyway, you guys have a lot of fucking questions for me. I asked you guys to ask me questions on Instagram and I got an overwhelming amount of responses. So we're gonna be doing that. The first question is, how much money did you have when you went to Japan? Good fucking question. I think I came to Japan with around, I want to say maybe $10,000 or something. And I went through that shit quick. You definitely can't live here long term on $10,000. It definitely was enough for me to get by until I was able to make more money in the meantime. I'd say your most important expense when you move to Japan is going to be your apartment because they have so many fucking fees on apartments here. So you should have at least $5,000 dedicated to just getting an apartment. Which ties into the next question, which is how are you able to afford Japan? I don't know. I have gotten so lucky up until this point. To be so real, during the pandemic, I was on unemployment, which everyone knows was a shit ton. And I saved all of that money because I was smart with it and I didn't go to fucking Target and spend all of it. And basically that's where all my savings came from when I moved here. And then after the past 6 months, I now have an income of doing social media. So that's what sustains my life now. But I basically moved here on vibes, not really knowing how I was really going to sustain myself long term. But I knew I would be able to figure it out. And I did. Do you have friends? I literally never post anyone on my social media. So it seems like I have no friends. And to an extent, that is 100% true. I don't have that many friends, and the friends that I do have, I just don't hang out with very often. I do have a few friends, but I'm also just I'm a very independent person, and I do not want to extend my social circle much further at the moment. I kind of am just content with not having a huge social circle. I'm also not someone who wants to go clubbing every weekend and have this big social circle of people to hang out with every single weekend. I am too fucking busy for that. I don't have the time. How much Japanese did you know while moving from the US? I knew literally nothing when I moved here, which is bad. I thought I would be okay with the few phrases that I knew literally just from watching anime from the age of 14. I was oh my god, I'm literally gonna be fine. Bitch, you were wrong. When I first moved here, I didn't know any hiragana or katakana, which is the alphabet, and I didn't understand how important that was or how helpful it is when you live here. At least knowing katakana helps so much. You can read menus at restaurants and stuff. I didn't know anything. I remember going to 7-Eleven the first night that I got here. The worker asked me for a bag and I didn't know what they were saying. And now I can't believe I came here with that much knowledge of Japanese. That being said, I'm okay and I learned a lot of Japanese since then. You can too. So, I mean, I guess it's okay, but you're gonna have a way better experience and a way less stressful experience if you learn at least the basics of Japanese before moving here. One of the things that I've incorporated into my daily routine is wellness shots, bitch. I am an avid coffee drinker, but I drink coffee so much to the point where it literally doesn't affect me anymore. I can drink coffee at 11 p.m. and go to fucking bed nothing happened. So I've always been very skeptical of wellness shots. I'm that shit doesn't do anything. But then I tried these wellness shots. They're so fucking cute. They're called Magic Mind and they have nootropics. No, I didn't have to look up how to say this before. Look at these, y'all. They're so cute. And they're supposed to help you focus and boost your energy, which is something that I need. I'm literally someone who cannot do anything if they don't have energy. Energy equals motivation for me. And if I don't have energy, then I have no motivation. So I need fucking energy to be able to do work or literally anything. One thing about wellness shots, I hate the taste of them. I've tried them before, but these ones actually taste good. They have matcha in them and I fucking love them. And I've been taking them every morning. As you can see, there's 4 missing. You can sip them or put them with your coffee, or you can just down it in one go. I typically down it in one go, and that's how I feel the most effects from it. And I'm wait, why am I focusing now? Yum. I'm so serious. I genuinely feel like these have made a difference in my life. Look how cute. But if you want to save up to 56% off of your subscription, use code Ryan at checkout or click the link in my description. That's all. Mwah. Next question is, how long will you stay over there? Y'all, I don't fucking know. I am on a student visa that expires in like a little over a year. If you asked me 6 months ago if I want to stay in Japan forever, I would have said, yeah, like I'm fucking staying here for the rest of my life. I don't know if I feel like that now. Like I kind of am very used to living in Japan. Nothing's really new anymore. So it just feels like home to me rather than like, oh my God, Japan. Like, oh my God, I fucking live in Tokyo. Like I'm just like, this is my home now. I don't know if I'm going to live here like super long term. It also just completely depends on like a visa. Like visas are really fucking hard to get for Japan. So you can't just like live here if you fucking want to. Like you have to have like a job and shit here. At the moment, I love living in Japan and I'm very content with like my lifestyle here. So I don't want to like ruin that and leave and then like miss it a lot. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just like riding this wave of living in Japan for one more year and seeing where I'm at the end of that year and figuring out what I want to do then, because I literally don't know. Which brings me to another question I got asked, is if I do want to move to LA. And the answer is like, yes, kind of, but at the same time I feel like if I moved to LA I would just get used to it really quickly and not want to live there anymore and be like, why the fuck did I leave Japan? Like that could have been like the worst mistake of my life. So I wouldn't want to like jump the gun and make a decision like that, because bitch, that is scary. I've been to LA twice and I really liked it. I love the weather. I like just like the environment kind of. I could potentially see myself living there. As for right now, I just don't think it's like the right timing, but again, we'll see in like a year where I'm at that point. But right now I'm a whole fucking vibe in Japan. What's the hardest thing about living in Japan? Bitch, the processes of living here. Like just going to the bank and doing simple tasks can be so hard, and you don't realize little things like that until you're here. And even just like when I had to get a bank account in Japan, I went to that bank so many times and the bank teller fucking hated me because I didn't speak enough Japanese to talk to her. So she made me bring my friend who speaks Japanese to do everything for me. And you just like don't want to rely on someone else to do that for you. But you, at the same time, you do need, like, if you're not Japanese or don't know enough Japanese, you need one Japanese friend who can do that shit for you, because that shit is hard. There are so many hard processes here that like people don't speak English with, so you literally have to do them in Japanese, and if you don't know Japanese, then you're out of fucking luck. That's the fact. That being said, I've made it through all those processes, but they are very fucking stressful. Did you have any culture shock going back to America after being in Japan? So since I moved to Japan, I've been to America twice. I went home and I went to New York and I went to LA. Those trips made me appreciate a lot more about home. Like when I left America, I was like, literally fuck this place. Y'all literally suck. I hate everything about America. I want to be in a country that like is better. But after going back, I developed like a new appreciation for things like, bitch, like capitalism kind of eats sometimes. Like I can't even lie. Like, and being able to like drive places is such a luxury. Like that's so nice. And just being able to go to fucking stores is like nice. I really miss that about America. I miss being able to driving to my friend's house or driving to get coffee like in the morning by myself. Whereas like in Japan, I have to take a train to go like anywhere, unless it's like, if I'm going to get coffee, I just walk down the street. But still, like I'd like to get in my car at like 7 a.m. in the morning and go get coffee. But I can't do that here. Like I have to walk and put like physical effort into going anywhere. On one hand is really good for you, but on the other hand, I'm just like, like I kind of miss, it's just something I miss about America. Okay. America does have its perks, and there are a few things that I miss. Culture shock? No, not really. I grew up there. I knew how everything was going to work. So I didn't get really like reverse culture shock. Like when you move to another country, it makes you realize a lot of differences between the two. And when you go back home, it's like, damn, they don't do that here. Like now, for example, I take my shoes off like basically everywhere. Like even in Japan, if you go in a fitting room, you have to take your shoes off. Obviously in houses, you take your shoes off. And now when I see people wearing shoes inside their house in America, I'm like, oh my fucking God. Like that is so gross and so preventable, but we're still doing that. That feels weird to me now, which it didn't before. The next question is, have you ever been to any countries besides the US and Japan? I've been to France and I've had like layovers in other countries, but other than that, no. But I'm planning to go to Korea soon. I really want to go to Korea. I've lived in Japan for over a year now and I haven't been to Korea, which is like abnormal because it's so cheap to go to Korea from Japan, so everyone goes. But I haven't gone yet, so I don't know why, but I need to go to fucking Korea. So that's the next one I'm planning to. Oh, fuck, bitch. I'm going to Canada in like 5 weeks. I'm going to Canada in 5 weeks and I've never been to Canada before. So that's happening. How did you learn Japanese so quickly? First of all, I want to clear the air and say everyone thinks that I'm literally native level Japanese speaker, and that is not the case at all. People see me order at a fucking restaurant and think that I'm fluent in Japanese. I think it's just because my pronunciation is really good. I'll give myself that. I've always been really good at pronunciation in different languages. When I moved to Japan, I knew like no Japanese and I had to like immerse myself basically. And the first few friends that I made were like half Japanese, so they knew Japanese, and I was able to like just be around them and kind of like mimic the things that they did. Like say we went to a restaurant or a store or things like that, and I just like learned from that. And then I started taking Japanese classes at my school, which really took it a step further because they give you so much fucking homework. It's insane. And I hated doing all the homework, but it definitely advanced my Japanese very quickly. And obviously being in the country of the language that you're studying advances you a lot faster rather than if you're in America studying Japanese, because you don't get to fucking use it anywhere. But I think that's how I think like for someone living in Japan who actually like applied themselves, my Japanese advanced at a pretty like normal rate, because there's so many things that I had to do like on my own, and those are all learning opportunities. And when you get stressed about a situation that you have to speak Japanese, you're gonna fucking remember how to say those things because it was so stressful. How did you meet your boyfriend? Through social media, but the first time I ever met him was at an arcade, which I fucking love. I think that's like the cutest fucking thing ever. Like, yeah, I met my boyfriend at a fucking game center. It's very sweet. And now whenever I see the game center, I'm like, aw, like I met my fucking boyfriend there. And it's like a popular game center too, so I see it quite often and I'm always like reminded of it. It's very cute. Do you think your life and/or mindset has improved since leaving the US? I don't know. I still feel like I'm me. I'm like the same person. One thing I will say is I feel like I had this idea that if I left America and moved to like a new place, my life would completely do a 180 and I would be like so much happier and everything would be completely better, regardless of what people say, saying that's not true. I did it anyway, and then I moved and realized, oh shit, like this is not gonna make me happier. While it's fun and exciting, it doesn't make me the happiest fucking bitch in the world. And I found that your relationships and the people you surround yourself with are what's most important. It sounds so fucking corny, but like that's so true. You really just have to have a good solid group of people that you like circulate yourself with. That's what's gonna help you be happy. The country you live in does not change your happiness level whatsoever. Like it just doesn't. You get used to living in that country and it just becomes your day-to-day life and things are no longer exciting as they used to be. The next question is, was it hard moving away? I'm assuming they mean like from the US. No, literally not at all. I was way too excited about like moving to Japan and like just experiencing living in another country. I was counting down the fucking days I got to leave. And also I was just extremely excited to leave America. So no, it wasn't hard at all to move away. I'm also not someone who's super close with my family. I never have been. I have 3 older sisters. I feel like people do not know that about me. I'm not close with like anyone. I talk to my mom like here and there, but like other than that, not really. And I was also able to kind of like test the waters before moving to Japan because I lived in New York for college for 3 years. And that gave me like the experience of like living alone and kind of understanding myself better and set me up to be able to move to a new country like Japan. Someone asked, is it hard to get a job in Japan? The answer is literally no. I feel like it seems like it would be. As long as you're a native English speaker, you can be like an English teacher or tutor almost anywhere. Like they're always looking for English teachers. That being said, I was an English teacher for 1 day and I fucking hated it. It was literally the worst experience ever. But it depends on the place that you work at. And then also, if you're interested in it, you can like do modeling. There's like plenty of opportunities here. But yeah, obviously it's going to be a lot harder to get a job here than it is in America or a country with the language that you speak. Are you planning on getting another cat anytime soon? Absolutely fucking not. My cat, he is already so much. I cannot deal with another cat right now. Maybe in the future at some point. I do romanticize the idea of Dote having like a friend, and I think that'd be so cute and like great for him, but I just can't do that right now, especially with the amount of traveling that I do. Which brings me to another question that someone asked is, what do you do with your cat when you travel? And I have a friend who watches him like every single time I leave. I literally love her. She saves my life every single time I have to leave the country. But Dote sheds so much. I can't imagine having another cat and doubling that. Oh my God, I can't. No, not another cat right now. Someone said, why do you have a bowl cut? Bitch! I get so many comments about my hair. Some people love it and a lot of people hate it, but I really like it. I spent so much of my life absolutely fucking hating my hair. I used to have like mental breakdowns about it in high school, but I'm finally at a point where I'm just like way more content than I used to be. And yeah, I like my fucking hair. Fuck you. Someone said, I was wondering with living abroad as a student, where does your living income come from? So this is not the most like relatable answer, but I obviously do social media and that's like my main form of income now. Before I was living off of savings. That's all I have. I can't like most people here that I know who have to like make their own income in Japan, they get jobs. Like even if they don't know Japanese, like they'll teach English or they'll work at like a ramen restaurant or something. It's possible. Someone said, what's your favorite thing about living alone? I have a story for y'all. When I lived in New York, I had a roommate from fucking hell, literally from hell. She was extremely wealthy and unaware of a lot of things. And I literally hated being around that so fucking much. And it made every day a fucking challenge. So from there on out, I promised myself I would never live with a roommate ever again. I can't fucking do that. And I like my shit to be clean. Also, I clean my apartment so much. And living alone, you just don't have to worry about anyone else. So it's the best of both worlds. I love living alone. This is like one of my biggest questions I get. Who is your boyfriend? I'm gonna say this once. I do not talk about who my boyfriend is. I've said plenty of times that I am in a relationship. I have a boyfriend, whatever. But I put a lot of shit on the internet. I put a lot of shit on the internet. Literally like everything about my life. So my boyfriend is like one of the only things I get to like keep to myself and not talk about. And also putting a relationship online just creates a lot of problems. And then people can begin to like pick things apart and like, I don't know, you just don't want to do that. And also he feels the same way about everything. So we just don't want to put that online. And as much as you guys like want to know, I'm sorry, I'm not going to talk about it and I'm never going to probably. Well, I can't say never, like maybe one day, but I would never, ever, ever have one of those channels that's like, oh my God, me and my boyfriend are doing blah, 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 blah. Like, no, I'm not doing that. Maybe a post one day. I don't know. For right now, I don't talk about it. Has your family ever come to visit you? No, my family and myself are from the middle of nowhere. So my family doesn't really have much exposure to other countries and we didn't travel really growing up. So I think if my mom came to Japan, she would genuinely have a heart attack. Like, I just don't know how she would be able to handle it. My mom's a simple gal. Someone said, are you happy? Don't get me crying. I don't know. I actually started therapy recently. I went to therapy for the first time recently and she had me doing Chinese acupuncture exercises and that was definitely an experience. I don't recommend it. It didn't really do anything. In terms of happiness, I can't say yes, but I can't say no either. Like, I just don't know right now. I'm not in my brightest moment at the moment. I feel like I have a lot of stress on my shoulders right now and a lot of things that I'm dealing with externally and internally with like myself. I low-key had like an identity crisis the other day because I was like, well, literally what the fuck am I doing? Like, I don't know who I am. And yeah, so y'all, growing up is not the vibe. Like, literally don't get older. Do not get older. I don't fucking recommend it. Someone said, do you have a girlfriend? Imagine if I had a girlfriend and I was like hiding her like for so long. Oh my fucking God. Was it easier to make friends in the US or Japan? 100% in the US, obviously. In Japan, there's already such a small pool of people you can be friends with as an English speaker. So definitely in the US. Oh my God. Someone said, can I please top you for science, of course? Oh my God. Hardest word for you to pronounce in Japanese. This is one thing I can always remember when someone asks this. The word, oh my God, I can't say it. Benri. It means convenient. B-E-N-R-I. Benri. I can't fucking say that word. It's so hard. What are your hopes for the next few years? Do you plan on living permanently in Japan? So I kind of touched on this earlier. As of right now, I do not plan on permanently living in Japan, but at the same time, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my life. Like, I don't know what I'm going to eat for breakfast tomorrow, let alone what I'm going to do in the next year. But my hopes are just that I'm going to be financially stable and I'm going to have an actual life and I'm going to not be struggling every fucking day. That's what I hope for as an American. I get so many questions about like, what are you going to do with your cat when you leave Japan? Do y'all think I'm going to fucking leave my cat in Japan and just move back to America? Hello? I get so many questions people will be like, please don't leave your cat in Japan. Why would I do that? I'm not. I'm going to take him with me wherever I go. Someone said, didn't you once go model? Are you pursuing doing more modeling or no? Okay, so I was doing modeling literally just for money. And I also just wanted to have like the experience. It sounded fun. And I got an agency and I did castings, but I ended ended up doing like one job, which was this like commercial for a bank that I literally never even saw, but I only did it because they paid for my bullet train fare and I got to go to Shizuoka for the day, and I thought that would be a fun experience, so I did it and it was fun, and that was the only thing I ever did. And then my social media kind of picked up and I started like actually making money on social media, so I was like, okay, I don't need to do modeling anymore, so I'm not going to. So yeah, they still send me castings like literally every day and I just don't respond to any of them. Like I just don't want to do it. The next question, do you get a lot of attention from Japanese people because you're a foreigner? I'm not gonna lie, like yeah, I think a lot of Japanese people tend to stare quite often at like foreigners, but I don't see it as a bad thing. If anything, it's like a good thing. They're just like really interested in your life. They just want to understand you better because they don't really get much exposure to foreigners very often. I think it's just interesting for them to see foreigners like exist in their world. So I think it's just like fun. I don't see it as like a bad thing that people stare. Sometimes I do get a little self-conscious because Japanese are so well put together. Like their hair always looks good. Their clothes always look good. Like everything looks fucking good. Sometimes I feel like I look like shit and I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna stare at me and I'm gonna be like the ugly, sweaty, nasty foreigner in the corner of the fucking train. But it's fine. Someone said, this old man actually said, what's your OF tag? Shut the fuck up. Are you planning to release merch? So, okay, when I first started doing social media, I was like, that sounds cool. I kind of want to do that. But then I was like, I do not want to put any more fucking clothes into the environment. Like, I don't need to do that. No one needs to be wearing a shirt with like anything related to me on it. But now it sounds kind of fun. I'm like, wait, that'd be so cool to see people like wearing something related to me that I put into the universe and going out on their day-to-day doing that. I don't know. I feel kind of weird about that. Comment if you guys would actually get merch if I put it out. I don't know. I feel like I'm not like big enough for that. I don't know. It sounds kind of fun though. Are you going to continue doing YouTube if you move back to America? Definitely I will, but it gets really, I'm like scared about that. I don't know. I'll get into that in a later question. Favorite thing about your new apartment? Definitely my fucking bathtub. I made a TikTok about my bath. I have all the fucking buttons and everything. It like automatically fills my bath and reheats it, and it's very nice. I also really just like having my laundry machine inside my apartment now. It's very convenient. Yeah, just like the convenient shit that comes with like paying more for your apartment is what I like the most now. Someone said, were you at Brandy Melville today in Tokyo? Because I literally swear I saw you. So Brandy Melville opened a location in Tokyo and I went yesterday. I'm never fucking going back. It was literally so fucking crowded. It was 3 floors and there were so many fucking girls in there. I was like so overwhelmed and I could tell that I was like getting recognized, so I left because I was getting really anxious and it was such a packed space and it was so hot outside and I was fucking dying, so I left and I went home. So yes, that was me. Is your cat an original Japanese citizen or USA? My cat does not have a fucking passport, but he's from Japan. Yes, he was born in Japan. How long does it take you to edit a video? Bruh, sometimes it really depends on the video. Like for YouTube, it can take anywhere from like 5 to 15 hours for a video just to edit, not even just to film, but to edit. And then for a TikTok, I can do that shit in like 10 minutes, honestly. TikToks are so easy, but I like doing YouTube more. Like my favorite thing to do is editing, so I like doing YouTube more. How's your boyfriend doing? My boyfriend is doing well. Y'all aren't getting any more than that. I'm sorry. Someone said, how was your childhood? Traumatic. What is Dote's backstory? I actually have quite an interesting story about how I got him. So it's basically impossible for foreigners to adopt cats in Japan, but I found a fucking loophole. I found this website where Japanese people rehome their pets, and I found Dote on that website, and I went to the middle of fucking nowhere in Saitama, which is like outside of Tokyo. Literally the middle of nowhere. I had to take like multiple buses to get there. I pull up, it's this apartment building in the middle of like a giant field, like nothing else around. So I was like, where the fuck am I? So I get into this girl's apartment. She has like 5 hamster cages and 7 cats roaming around her 1-bedroom apartment. And I was like, where the fuck am I? And then I saw Dote and I talked to the girl for a while. She asked me if she goes, does Ryan have a girlfriend? And obviously I said no. Yeah, and I still kind of keep up with her. Like she texts me from time to time and asks me how Dote is doing. But yeah, she just gave me him for free, and then I left and I went home, and the rest is history. What is your advice on someone who feels stuck in life and feels unhappy? Bitch, I'm asking the same fucking question. I don't know. Would you ever live in a different part of Japan? Like, I don't think so. If I did, it'd have to be like another city. I like living in Tokyo. Like living in the countryside, you have no opportunity to do literally anything. Going to the grocery store can be so fucking far away. Let let alone any sort of social life. Like if you live in the countryside, you can say bye to your fucking social life. Like you won't meet anyone there, especially foreigners. No, if I did, it would have to be in a city. Bitch, what? Do you have those Korean convenience stores in Japan? No, this is Japan. We have Japanese convenience stores. Is Japan gay friendly? Yes, Japan actually is very gay friendly. I've never had any experience, but I think the only reason it's very gay friendly, not the only reason, but one of the main reasons that it's very gay friendly is because it's very known Japanese people do not have a gaydar. Like if you are gay and you are the most fucking flamboyant gay person in the world, a Japanese person would not be able to tell. Like they just don't know. And I think it's because a lot of the straight guys in Japan can be very feminine on their own, like without being gay. So it's just like different here. Yeah. And then there's also like a gay district in Tokyo that's very fun. It's called Nichome. Yeah, there's like a whole gay scene in Tokyo. What are your least favorite things and most favorite things about being a content creator? It still feels weird like calling myself that because I started like literally 5-6 months ago. My most favorite thing is definitely the flexibility and how it can be like a real job and like actually provide income, and also just like the community that you can build off of it. I think it's very engaging and fun to have, and just like going to my like YouTube app and seeing the comments that you guys left for me like just makes my entire day and then motivates me to make another video. So that part is very fun. On the other hand though, once it becomes like a job and like your income, you're your own boss and you have to do things completely on your own unless you have management like doing everything for you. But even if you have management, you still have to pull out the camera, you still have to plan a new video every week and edit, and there's so much work that goes in it behind the scenes. And as your own boss, you kind of have to like discipline yourself to be able to do these things while also having fun at the same time. And if you're not having fun, then it becomes forced, and that creates a whole web of issues. Yeah, that's definitely my least favorite thing about being a content creator. My favorite spot in Tokyo, it's definitely Skytree. I love Skytree, which is so stereotypical because it's a huge tourist attraction. There's so much there. Like there's a beautiful aquarium there. There's shopping. There's the actual Skytree, like the top of it. They have a Studio Ghibli store. There's restaurants. Like there's so much to do around Skytree. I really like it there. That's all the questions that I gathered. I've literally been doing this for 42 fucking minutes. I can't believe I've been doing that. But I'm gonna go now. I hope you guys learned a thing or two about me. Make sure to subscribe. And if you guys have any more questions, comment them down below. This was actually like really fun. Yeah, love you. Mwah.